So I got a question. Why do they call it almond bark? Anybody? Does anybody know the answer to that? I don't. Hi, how y'all doing? It's Tuesday. Good morning. Welcome to the show. I'll turn this music down to make it easier to hear me. There you go. Hope you're having a wonderful morning. Mine's fine, I guess. And as some people here say, it's a day, and it's another day. So anyway, today's show, we're going to talk a little bit about Roxanne here. Roxanne, you don't have to put on the red light. And other things about higher education and Trump and just everything else that's going on. Headlines of the day, as we do on the daily. Get you caught up with things that are happening and maybe even a few things that you didn't know were happening. So that's what we do on the show. I hope you're ready. Turn this turn that crap off. And Johnny, play the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only Dawg Knight.
Yes. That would be... Oh, wow. That was abrupt. Me. Hi. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet. Welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel, where, if I turn this up, you can hear me better, where we talk about the news, the daily headlines, the things that are happening in the world, and even a few things that, are just things that are weird. Now, the reason I asked a question about almond bark, because on top of my refrigerator this morning, there was this box of these things, these little almond bark snowmen and Santas, which are very cute and they're very tasty. And I always wondered why they call it almond bark. Is there almond in the white part of this? Now, in these particular candies, these have a little, I'm going to open it up here. I'm doing a, what do you call it? An unboxing. And I'm unboxing an almond bark candy. And here it's a cute little, what is this one? This one's a cute little snowman with some little peppermint in it. It has a little chocolate on the back. And they're delicious. And, it kind of goes very well with my reparations coffee, which I'm using the Viva Las Vegas cup again that Lady Boomer brought back to me from Las Vegas. In fact, see this little Ferris wheel on the back of it? I don't know if you can see that Ferris wheel, but there you go. Lady Boomer, they rode that Ferris wheel when they were there. Her and her friend Chris, and they had a good time. And they also went on a helicopter ride, all kinds of stuff. But anyway, enough about her trip. Let's talk about stuff that's happening here. And, well, not here because, I don't know, there's not a whole lot happening here. Well, in Minneapolis, by the way, that movie that Alpha News put out, The Fall of Minneapolis, is causing quite a stir around here. I guess some people weren't happy that it was made. It's the George Floyd story. I still haven't watched it. I'm going to watch it today. I've been meaning to watch it, but people are, there's some people not too happy about that movie. Anyway, I'm not talking about that today. Let's say hi to everybody and get into the news, because there's a lot of stuff that I do want to talk about. So first, let's say hi to the people on Rumble. Mr. Avocado Stalby gets his first over on Rumble and gets the bell. There it is. Where's that? There we go. Whew, having a little trouble with my coffee got in the way, and if I'd have done it too fast, I'd have spilled my coffee. Also, good morning, Jimmy Das Hotep is in the house. And our friend Renee Mayette's over on Rumble, too. It's nice to see you over on Rumble. You get to sometimes to see you on YouTube, sometimes I see you on Rumble. So hello. Hi, y'all, and over on Rumble. And there's apparently 8 more people over there that I'm not sure about, or 9 more people. If you have a Rumble window open, just put a hi in the chat and hit the thumbs up. That's all I want. That's all I need. You can watch wherever you want. I'm gonna do Well, there's actually 2 people who've already hit the thumbs up. There's 13 watching. So anyway, say hi on Rumble in the chat, just so I know who you are. And welcome. Over on YouTube, first in the chat is also Mr. Avocados Diabli. I'm not sure about this guy either. I'm not either. Anyway, that's between me and someone over on Rumble. If you want to know who it is, you got to go over there yourself. Also, good morning, Ravon Harris. Good morning, sir. Good morning, JB. Jimmy Das Hotep, Septus Wolf, Tyre Alexander. The gentleman, Lich. Am I saying that correctly? I always say Lich. Is that correct? Is that how it's supposed to be pronounced? I know it's something, some game thing. I don't know. Is that true? Is that how? Am I saying it correctly? I've never known for sure. I always want to say Leech, as in kind of give it a European I. Each Leech, like Italian or French, it'd be each. But anyway, or German even. Good morning, also Trippy Liberty, my brother. What's up? Good morning, Lord Stanhope. Molly Maggs, welcome. Nice to see you here live. Good morning, Sheograth. Oh my gosh, what did I do to have this honor? Good morning, sir. How are you? Also, good morning to GDSOB and Zombie Teddy's in the house. Welcome back. Ted Bishop is here. Hey to you too. Also, good morning to Scribe Light, Dog Thrapple. And I think, is that everybody so far? I think so. Septus Wolf's in the house. I see you now. Oh, and Green Badger Outdoors, Aaron Meredith, James Stoner. The whole gang is coming on in, and Brent Hayes. So y'all are rolling in, and then that's good. It could be pronounced Lich like rich, but it could also be pronounced like leech. Okay, well, I'll mix it up every once in a while. I'm not 100% sure what that should be. Anyway, all right, so I do not have Twitter trending topics today. I didn't do it. I was going to, and since I was so far behind, I thought leech like leech. Leak like leech. Oh, you're giving me multiple pronunciations of leech, leech, like, leech. God. Anyway, so I didn't really check the Twitter trending topics, so I don't know what's like. Oh Jesus, Clarence Thomas. Let me see who's trending on here real quick. Harvard is trending. Oh my goodness. And President Gay. Now this is trending number 1, so let me see if what happened. I have a couple stories about the president of Harvard today, and lots of people are talking about it. Oh goodness, yeah. See now, there's a story that hasn't been told yet, and you probably heard it. Claudine Gay, the president of Harvard. Apparently, they've gone back. Someone's dipped into her doctoral thesis and found quite a hefty amount of plagiarism, or well, it may be plagiarism, or maybe just uncredited words, so to speak. And then some people are saying that if you keep her on, you're condoning anti-Semitism, racism, plagiarism. But we'll get into that. If there's people who say, okay, let me just show you maybe I should put it. I will open these if I use them. I'm going to just do these on the fly. Here's the trending. Oh, come on. There we go. Is that right? There we go. There's the trending topic. I'll just give you a few things that are trending about Harvard. So it's trending number 1. Everyone's talking about Harvard this morning. Christopher Rufo, the academic, I don't know what he does. He's the writer for City Journal, senior fellow at the Manhattan Institute. Says Harvard has sacrificed its academic integrity on the altar of intersectionality. Oh my gosh. That's rough. I don't need to cheer for that. Hello, Justine Elushan. Hi. You changed your last name, though. That's weird. Or different. I don't know. And Asan, man. All the look, the old school's coming back. Nice to see you, Asan. And that's due to the fact that they've found that she's plagiarized something, but they don't have any intention of making her step down. Other people, Sean Davis someone says here, if such a prominent DEI hire got fired for gross incompetence, it would open the door to professional accountability for others elevated to powerful roles because of DEI. Now, this is Buck Sexton. He's a right-wing radio host. The left was never going to allow that. The DEI elite must be unfireable or their system crumbles. We'll get into that. There's a little bit more deep into the article. Oh, what is this? Just in, Harvard board unanimously stands in support of Claudine Gay. James Lindsay says, stop hiring Harvard graduates. So here's the board of Harvard with they decided to write a letter, like any good, any. I was going to say, if you ever saw the movie White Chicks, okay, in the movie White Chicks, when one of the Wayans brothers, they're at the hotel and she's pretending to be mad. And he says, I'm going to write a letter. So here's the letter from the, apparently the board of Harvard to the members of the Harvard community. And it looks like it's only one page, but why is there only one page of this? That's weird. Here's the gist of their letter. We'll read the beginning of it. Dear members of the Harvard community, as members of the Harvard Corporation, we today reaffirm our support for President Gay's continued leadership at Harvard University. Our extensive deliberations affirm our confidence that President Gay is the right leader to help our community heal and to address the very serious societal issues we are facing. So many people have suffered tremendous damage and pain because of Hamas's brutal terrorist attack, and the university's initial statement should have been immediate, direct, and unequivocal condemnation. Calls for genocide are despicable and contrary to fundamental human values. President Gay has apologized for how she handled her congressional testimony and has committed to redoubling the university's fight against anti-Semitism. With regards to President Gay's academic writings, the university has become aware in late October of allegations regarding 3 articles. At President Gay's request, the fellows promptly initiated an independent review by distinguished political scientists and conducted a review of her published work. On December 9th, the fellows reviewed the results, which revealed... Wait a minute! Listen to this! And conducted a review of her published work. On December 9th, the fellows reviewed the results, which revealed a few instances of inadequate citation. While the analysis found no violation of Harvard standards for research misconduct, President Gay is proactively requesting 4 corrections in 2 articles to insert citations and quotation marks that were omitted from the original publication. In this tumultuous and difficult time. Wait a minute. So they're going to let her... She plagiarized some articles without citation, and they're going to give her a gimme. They're going to let her go back and they're going to let her correct her work. Just like if you took a paper to your teacher in high school and you got a B, and it was because you forgot to put some quotation marks and then the teacher says, okay, I'll tell you what, I'm going to let you go rewrite part of this paper, or we'll just throw some quotations in you and give you an A because, we don't really care about accuracy. Okay. They continue. In this tumultuous and difficult time, we unanimously stand in support of President Gay. At Harvard, we champion open discourse and academic freedom, and we are united in our strong belief that calls for violence against our students and disruptions of the classroom experience will not be tolerated. Well, gee, that seems like minimal effort there, Harvard. Harvard's mission is advancing knowledge, research, and discovery that will help address deep societal issues and promote constructive discourse, and we are confident that President Gay will lead Harvard forward toward accomplishing this vital work. Thank you very much. Oh my God. So, well, you know, I mean, they're gonna. Why would you fire a president of a prestigious university like Harvard for just a little bit of plagiarism or failure to cite some, you know, quotes and research and give citations and whatnot? I guess, but they're gonna let her. What did they say? This is interesting. They are. What is it? President Gay is proactively requesting. Proactively. What do you mean proactively? How do you proactively do something that you got caught for that was done in the past? Proactively would have been before anyone ever discovered the fact that you plagiarized, or excuse me, failed to do citations on your work. What do you mean proactive? That's not proactive. That's the opposite of proactive. That's reactive. She reactively requested 4 corrections in 2 articles to insert citations and quotation marks that were omitted. Oh, they were omitted? Is that what it was? Oh, she just forgot. Anyway, that's hilarious. We're going to be talking more about, academia in a moment. But let's see if there's anything else trending that I give a shit about. So, let's see. Harvard was trending. Let's see. Rest in peace. C3. Nope. Pink Tour. Nope. Don't care. Sununu. Why is Sununu trending? Is that John Sununu's? Oh, that's the governor. Wait a minute. What does this headline have to do with Governor Sununu endorsing Haley? Jack Smith stops new tooth bomb. Expert extracted data from White House phones during riot, including Trump's So, okay, that has nothing to do with Sununu. I don't know why Sununu is. Oh, he's going to. Oh, God. New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu is going to endorse Nikki Haley for president in 2024. Yippee! Don't care. All right, let's see what else is trending. And I'm not even putting that on the screen. It's not worth it. Kicksmas. I don't know what that means. Pink Friday World Tour. Is it the Feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe today? All these saints holidays keep popping up. And I'm not being a saint, don't necessarily know all the saints holidays. So here's a trending topic. Is it the Feast of the Lady of Guadalupe or something like that? Here it is. The modern science cannot explain many aspects of the image of Our Lady of Guadalupe. The image shows no sign of deterioration after 500 years. Oh, this is that. Okay. Here, this is interesting. The tilma, or cloak, of Juan Diego, on which the image of the Lady of Guadalupe has been imprinted, is a coarse fabric made from the threads of the maguey cactus. This fiber disintegrates within 15 years. There was no undersketch, no sizing, no protective cover, varnish on the image. Microscopic examination revealed that there were no brush strokes. The image seems to increase in size and change colors due to an unknown property on the surface and substance of which it's made, according to Kodak of Mexico. The image is smooth and feels like a modern-day photograph, produced 300 years before the invention of photography. The image has consistently defied exact reproductions, whether by brush or camera. Several images can be seen reflected in the eyes of the Virgin. It is believed to be the images of San Juan Diego, Bishop Juan de Zumárraga, Juan Gonzalez is the interpreter, and others. The distortion and place of the images are identical to what is produced in the normal eye, which is impossible to obtain on a flat surface. The stars on Our Lady's mantle coincide with the constellation in the sky on December 12, 1531. All who have scientifically examined the image of Our Lady over the centuries confess that its properties are absolutely unique and inexplicable. So interesting. Why is this trending? Today, the Church of the United States celebrates the feast. Oh, it's the feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe. In the winter of 1531, a poor 57-year-old Aztec Indian living 5 miles outside of Mexico City encountered a miraculous happening on his way to morning mass. Oh my gosh, there's more of this story. There's the rest of the story. Hello, Tex AG 007. Let's see. On his way to mass. What? First he heard strange music coming from the Tepeyac Hill, and then he heard a woman's voice calling his name. Juan Diego climbed the hill and encountered a young woman appearing to be of his own people in physical appearance and dress. The woman identified herself as the Virgin Mary and told Juan Diego to ask the Bishop of Mexico City to build a church on the hill to assist in the conversion of the nation and be a source of consolation of the people. Juan Diego obeyed the request, but the bishop was skeptical regarding the message, even though he perceived that Juan was humble and a well-meaning Catholic. Juan reported the bishop's doubt to Our Lady at Tepeyac Hill, and she asked him to return to the bishop once again, bearing the same message. The bishop once again heard the story and told Juan Diego to ask Our Lady for a sign that it was indeed herself that wished for the church to be built. When he returned to the hill, Mary gave Juan Diego such a sign. Miraculously, roses appeared on the hill in the middle of winter, and Juan gathered them in his tilma or cloak. Our Lady arranged the roses in his tilma with her own hands, and Juan returned to the bishop's presence. When Juan released the tilma, allowing the flowers to fall to the floor, it was revealed that a miraculous image of Our Lady had imprinted itself on his tilma. See above, and this is the cloak that they have no explanation for this. And the bishop immediately fell to his knees, came to believe in Juan Diego's message. The church was built on the spot of the apparition, as Mary had requested, and 8 million people converted to Catholicism in a short period of time upon hearing of or viewing the miraculous image of Our Lady. So this is why Mexico is mostly Catholic. Okay, that's the long short story of the long story. There's a lot more there, but I'm not going to read anymore. So that's why Mexico is mostly Catholic, because of Our Lady of Guadalupe. There you go. Easy peasy. Good morning to Nomad. What's up, man?
Hammer time.
And Rick Ashburger's in the house. What's up? How you doing? Nice to see you all there. All right. Anything else trending that I really care about? I always stop with it's the season, so I always stop with the Saints days and whatnot. Meth is trending. That's under music. Kanye's trending. No. Tom Selleck's trending. Uh-oh. Why is Tom Selleck trending? I hope it's not. Is this bad news? Okay. Okay. You know what meme comes up anytime some celebrity of age trends, right? You know which meme I'm going to show you right now? It's the prerequisite meme whenever someone, and I mean, is Tom Selleck old? I mean, old-ish compared to, not old, but here's the meme that's always trends every time some celebrity trends that you think, oh my gosh, are they or aren't they? The old, good, thank goodness. Tom Selleck trending, and was afraid for a second he sold my grandma reverse mortgage. Okay, that's funny. That is funny. What? Good morning, everyone, especially Tom Selleck. He's a Hollywood hottie who has the balls to call out bullshit when it needs to be called out. Tom has shown he doesn't give a flying fuck what Pedowood or the MSM thinks of him when it comes to supporting President Donald Trump. Oh, no. Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold up. Hey, what did Tom Selleck do? What did he do? Okay, 43 years ago today that Magnum PI premiered with Tom Selleck. Okay, it's the anniversary of Tom Selleck. I didn't know Tom Selleck was a Republican, though. I knew he was a Republican. I didn't know he was a Trump guy, though. But anyway, that's why it's trending, because 40, what? Did they say 43 years ago? Holy shit. 43 years ago, Magnum PI debuted. What the hell? That's what Tom Selleck looked like back in 1980. Oh, I didn't. It's not on the screen. Everybody loved Tom Selleck back in the day. And all the ladies did, at least. And he was one of the. I don't know if he was like he brought back the mustache because there was a short period of time when the mustache wasn't cool, but this show brought it back. Anyway, 43 freaking years ago. Oh my God, I'm old. Oh my God. Okay, we'll put a link out there for Tom Selleck too. I don't know why. Holy shit. I'm just ancient. Justine is 43. Well, you were born the year that Magnum PI came out. Okay, is there anything else? Jesus is something. Core CPI. I got to look at that. Consumer Price Index. Oh no, wait a minute. Goldman's CPI price matrix based on core CPI. Just someone give me the number. Okay, here's Consumer Price Index. This is trending headline. CPI rose by 0.1% in November after 0.0% last month. Over the year, inflation was at 3.1% over the year, down tick from 3.1%. Well, wait a minute. 3.1% down a tick from 3.1%? That seems to be the same. Breaking news, U.S. November CPI rises 0.1% in November, above forecast. So core CPI rose 0.3% in line with expectations. So we're still at about a 3% inflation rate over last year. So for the Biden administration, about 17% total. Americans are spending about $11,000 more on just the basic shit than they were before Biden became president. So there you go. We'll drop in the core CPI in the links, and we're gonna move on because trending stuff. Since I wasn't really prepared for it, I'm just gonna let it go. All right, let's move on to what I want to talk about today, and that is, here's a few articles on. Oh dang it, I forgot. I forgot. There are two featured tweets today. One from Cenk Uygur, and it's one that he's basically getting fairly savaged for, and this is it right here. Can everyone please stop the dumb from the river to the sea chant? It is incredibly hurtful to our Jewish brothers and sisters. It's also incredibly counterproductive to protecting Palestinians. Do not chant something that a majority thinks is a call for genocide. Not complicated. Now, Cenk Uygur, miraculously with a voice of reason, I suppose, but the Palestinian supporting faction ain't having it, okay? Usually I agree with you, Cenk, but as a Palestinian, I'd like you to avoid tone policing us. It's our slogan, and we can chant if we want. We could have chanted anything, and Zionists would still claim we are calling for genocide no differently. Which Cenk replies, even if this is true, you're hurting yourself greatly in American public opinion. As a friend, my job is to tell you what's going to help and not help. If you want to ignore my advice and do something deeply counterproductive in the context of American politics, that's up to you. But then Aramate kindly reminded him, one day ago, Cenk tweeted, the entire media shifted the conversation from the actual genocide of Palestinians happening right now to the idea of how university presidents should denounce the chants of students with no power. Who cared about chants while 17,000 have been massacred and we are funding it? Well, there's no, look, I'm dubious on the numbers of how many died and whatnot, just like they were dubious on how many Jews were killed on the October 7th, because, if it's okay to question that, you can question anything that the Hamas says. But anyway, and then Michael Tracy does make one good point, though. Does this mean that Jews should stop chanting because they're perceived as calling genocide on themselves? Because there are some Orthodox Jews who are not fans of Israel either, that kind of have been joining the protesters for Palestinians and whatnot. But everyone's so many people are just jumping in Cenk's ass for that. So, you know what? I don't care when it's Cenk Uygur, because, I just love it when he takes the heat. And then the second one the second featured tweet of the day is from none other than Gavin Newsom. And Gavin Newsom dropped this brilliance, and which has been immediately fact-checked by everyone on Twitter. He says, this is important. Republican-led states like Florida and Texas tax low-wage workers more than we tax millionaires and billionaires. They talk about how they are working for the working folks and middle class. They are not. Look at who they tax. Now, and then here's his little diatribe. Here it is.
These red states, overwhelming majority of the red states, but substantively, Florida.
He's talking to Brian Tyler Cohen.
Full-time workers more than we tax millionaires and billionaires. And they call us a high tax state. How can you claim that? It's who are you for? And it's exposed in this. They talk about this populism.
He makes
the working folks in the middle class.
He's just making shit up right now.
Policies. Look who they benefit. And I say Texas is a master case, a class case is this because it's like 70 or 80% of Texans pay more taxes than a state like California. Yet again, when you read the Wall Street Journal editorial board, when you watch the Doom Loop at Fox and One American News and Newsmax, you hear exactly the opposite. Again, another reason I thought it was so important to get in on that platform and express some.
Okay, he's talking about doing the debate with Ron DeSantis. Now, there are people. Which is curious where he comes up with his numbers, because California has the highest poverty rate in the nation. California has the highest gas taxes in the nation, has the highest state income tax in America, and record homelessness in California. But here's some numbers. Hey, Gavin Newsom, what will you lie about next? People aren't stupid. Your highest income tax rate is now 13.3%. Now, he said the lowest income workers, right? Didn't he say that? And it will become 14.4% while it's zero in other states. Sales tax in LA is now greater than 10%, and everyone pays. Highest gas and utility businesses taxes as well, which are directly or indirectly paid by everyone, including the poor and the middle class. And while property tax rates aren't very high, thanks to astronomically high real estate prices, the absolute number is high too. Instead of fabricating a lie, it's obvious to anyone under age 2 why you don't solve your spending problem and fix your tax rate so you aren't driving away the top 1% who are paying half the state's taxes. With 1% gone, you'll have 50% of the money to care for 99% of the people. Do the math won't work. So, and here's the problem. Texas doesn't have income tax. I don't think, does Florida? I'm not even sure if Florida does either. Someone else put something down here about this. And plus the fact that people are being robbed and murdered in the streets of California. There's no state income tax in Florida either. So he's saying, oh, you're paying the higher taxes on the low income and middle income wage workers in Florida and Texas. Well, how do you figure there, Gavin? Sounds like they don't have income tax in Florida or Texas. So how do you figure? So anyway, what a numbnuts. He's just a lying brick. And I think I even said something to the fact that, I had a good reply to this. Where is it? Did I reply to this? I thought I did. Maybe I didn't. I could have sworn I did. Okay, whatever. Here, let me check here, because I thought I had a pretty good answer to that. Oh. Did I? Oh, maybe it's right. Oh, didn't I? I must not hit send. Anyway, I put up that Eddie Murphy, you would lie your ass off little comment. All right, let's move on. We're going to talk about higher education, but first I want to talk about what's happening, not necessarily in Israel right now, but just kind of a couple articles and things happening around this great land of ours, in which things, not good things are happening. So there's a Biden fundraiser. Where was the Biden fundraiser? It was in Los Angeles. Okay. And apparently, and again, I don't necessarily like to use the words anti-Semitic and anti-Zionist or whatever, anti-Israel, as all synonymous, but I'm going to read the article as it's written. okay? And the title of this is Anti-Semitic Mob Shows Up for Biden Fundraiser and Vandalizes Jewish Neighborhood. Now, I don't know what good it does to vandalize neighborhoods or properties in the United States of Jewish people. If you're trying to prove that this is not about Jews and about Israel, the government of Israel, vandalizing people, and attacking Jews in the United States probably isn't the best way to show that you're not just being anti-Semitic. But anyway, it was like a scene in downtown Tehran orchestrated by Iran's whirling mullahs, one of those spontaneous protests in Ramallah in the West Bank, or from the 1938 as the Nazis whipped up anti-Semitic hate, preparing for Kristallnacht. Okay, so he might be exaggerating here. I don't know. Hello, Special Can Acid. What's up? I did say Mike Savage. But it was modern day Los Angeles on Friday night, the second night of Hanukkah, when a mob marched through a largely Jewish neighborhood chanting death threats to Jews. According to Stop Anti-Semitism, the mob also defaced several buildings, including synagogues. Here's a short clip of the mob in action. They had a little march, and apparently some of the dickheads around them, probably Antifa and Black Bloc assholes, were out there defacing things, right? So anyway, people who still relied on the mainstream media for the news miss scenes like these. Here's Stop Anti-Semitism. As Jews were lighting candles last night for Shabbat and the second night of Hanukkah, mobs of anti-Semites took to the streets to chant anti-Semitic slogans and graffiti buildings, including synagogues. The particular location is the epicenter of the Persian Jewish life on whatever that consents. So anyway, it continues. Remember, comrades, no peaceful protest is complete without at least a little property damage. Well, remember, it's the, you know who these protests attract, the same groups that get glom onto Black Lives Matter protests, the same groups that glom onto, protesting a Trump rally or whatever, the little violent little fuckers in the black masks and shit. Anyway, the mainstream media was largely silent on the mob and its death threats. Fox LA 11 reported it as part of a story on President Joe Biden's fundraising sweep through Los Angeles. The Los Angeles Daily News gave it a brief mention way down on the 16th paragraph of a similar report on Biden's trip. To be fair, a similar mob between 1,200 and 1,500 people showed up at Biden's Homely Hills fundraiser with chants of free Gaza and ceasefire now. They even accused Biden and his donors of supporting Israeli genocide, quote unquote, against Gaza Arabs. There were about 1.5 million Muslim Arabs in the Gaza Strip when Israel unilaterally left the region in 2005. There are more than 2 million there today, and Gaza women have one of the highest fertility rates in the world. So, some genocide, eh? Well, look, they're talking about... I know that I don't agree that this is genocide. This is war, and, Hamas brought this war upon themselves. But what I would... It's the use of word genocide is probably not accurate. I'll just say that. Literally, I believe the future of American democracy is at stake, Biden said during his fundraising speech in reference to Trump. We'll be one of those generations that can say, we saved democracy. Fuck off, Joe. Come on. You're not saving democracy. Hello, Select the Boy.
Yeah, boy.
That, he said, all while the Nazi-like mob chanted outside is an irony too rich for fiction. It's an absurdity that could happen only in reality. LAPD declared an unlawful assembly around 5:45 p.m. About an hour later, according to the Los Angeles Times, the crowd began to move out from the park and disperse elsewhere. Apparently, it was a part of that crowd that moved on to Wilshire to threaten local Jews and tag buildings with graffiti. Because, no peaceful protest is complete without a little graffiti. You could have knocked me over with a feather, assuming you had one handy, which would have been weird in the middle of a Sunday afternoon when I saw Representative Ted Lieu of California say this on X, quote, "Anti-Semitism is repugnant and vile. There is no context in which anti-Semitism is acceptable. The Jewish community in our district is resilient, and this man showed that by continuing to synagogue. I urge law enforcement to prosecute the hater to the fullest extent of the law." Referring to this person, yesterday a couple was walking to a synagogue in our city. Our beloved resident, a 75-year-old man, was struck with a belt on his head and called out as a Jew. The Beverly Hills PD and City of Beverly Hills Fire immediately responded and has this despicable hater in custody. So anyway, so that was happening in Los Angeles. And then apparently a suspect, this isn't the suspect, the same story from Legal Insurrection, suspect arrested, allegedly attacking an elderly Jewish man in Beverly Hills. They booked Jairus J. Salagi, 44, on the suspicion of assault with a deadly weapon, attempted robbery, elder abuse, and a hate crime. So apparently hate crimes are a thing in Los Angeles, California. They arrested the man in connection with the anti-Semitic attack of an elderly Jewish couple on their way to a Beverly Hills synagogue on Saturday. Officers booked same name. It's the same story. So at least they got the guy. I guess he got attacked for wearing a yarmulke. And then apparently another insurrection happened in the Capitol. Soros-backed group storms Senate office building, demands Israeli ceasefire, which, I don't know if the Senate of the United States can vote on an Israeli ceasefire, but an anti-Israel group bankrolled by liberal billionaire George Soros flooded the lobby of a Senate office building on Monday, demanding an Israeli ceasefire and an end to U.S. aid to the Jewish state. The U.S. Campaign for Palestinian Rights, which is USCPR, took credit for the illegal protest, boasting in a Monday morning social media post that 100 plus of its activists have, quote, taken over the Senate atrium for Palestine, singing ceasefire now and stop weapons now, end quote. The protesters spilled red-stained money, which they said symbolized U.S. aid to Israel, on the floor of the Hart Senate office building, and unveiled banners that said aid to Israel equals bombing Palestinians. Capitol Police arrested more than 40 protesters, 2 of whom were charged with resisting arrest. So at least they didn't fight with Capitol Police, but they were arrested. So again, but I understood that anytime if you go into a building in Washington, D.C. that has something to do with our government, that's supposed to be an insurrection. Why do I have this on 4? Let's try 5. Insurrection. There, that's the right one. Okay. Anyway, so that was going on. And so now, and then there's an article here by Dennis Prager that says, yes, anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism. I'm interested in the argument. I'm and maybe I'm just having a hard time with it, because not necessarily. But here's what he's saying: imagine a group of people who work to destroy Italy because they claim Italy's origins are illegitimate. Imagine further that these people maintain that of all the countries in the world, only Italy doesn't deserve to exist. Then imagine that these people vigorously deny that they are anti-Italian. Would you believe them? Now substitute Israel for Italy, and you'll understand the dishonesty and absurdity of the argument that one can be anti-Zionist, that is, against the existence of a Jewish state, but not be anti-Jew. Except, okay, now there's some nuance here that Dennis doesn't seem to be. He comes down here. Zionism is the name of the movement for the return of the Jews to their historic homeland. Over the past 3,000 years, there were only 2 independent states located in what is called Israel. Both were Jewish states, and invaders destroyed both. No Arab or Muslim or any foreign sovereign country ever existed in that land, which was given the name Palestine by the Romans so as to remove all memory of the Jewish state they destroyed in the year 70. Second, anti-Zionists claim they can't be anti-Jew because Zionism has nothing to do with Judaism. That is the same as saying Italy has nothing to do with being Italian. Judaism has always consisted of 3 components: God, Torah, and Israel, the people of Israel and the land of Israel. Israel is much a part of Judaism as our God and the Bible. Moreover, the most pro-Israel, i.e. most Zionist Jews, are Orthodox, the most religious Jews. That there exists one tiny group of ultra-Orthodox Jews, Nutre Carta, that is anti-Zionist means nothing. They are as representative of Judaism as the Ku Klux Klan is of Christianity. Interesting. That's the first That's the first combination I've heard of that there. Third, anti-Zionists claim that Judaism is only a religion, therefore Jews are only members of a religion, not a nation. But the Jews are called a nation more than 100 times in the Bible. That is why there can be irreligious, secular, and even atheist Jews, because Jews are not only a religion, but a people, a nation. No one thinks non-religious Jews are not Jews. There can be no atheist Christians because Christianity is a religion, not a nation. That's okay. That's an interesting point too. And it has a couple more points here. It's worth a read. But you know, I struggle with it a little bit just for the reasons I've already stated. All right. Now, what does this have to do with the main topic of the day? Well, because here we go. We hear again, embattled Harvard president Claudine Gay now under fire for alleged plagiarism. Her portions of she allegedly plagiarized portions of her PhD dissertation, which concerns racial themes, for her doctorate in political science from Harvard back in 1997. Now, remember when they said the people at Harvard, where is it? Harvard, in this letter, okay? Remember in this letter where they said, what is it? At President Gay's request. At her request? Oh, because it became public that you plagiarized? At President Gay's request, the fellows promptly initiated an independent review by distinguished political scientists and conducted a review of her published work. On December 9th, the fellows reviewed the results, which revealed a few instances of inadequate citation. While the analysis found no violation of Harvard standards, except for the inadequate citation for research misconduct, President Gay has proactively requesting 4 corrections to 2 articles. No, reactively, because you got busted. Holy shit. Anyway, here we go. Journalist Christopher Rufo, a senior fellow at the Manhattan Institute, published a report on Sunday outlining what he indicated to be 3 instances of Gay plagiarizing per Harvard standards in the dissertation, taking charge, Black electoral success, and the redefinition of American policies. So anyway, he documented three instances of plagiarism, which Ms. Gay proactively asked reactively to have it changed by the Harvard Standards Board or something. This was her fucking dissertation. Come on now. Come on, man. Come on. Man. Yeah, come on, man. Hello, Donkey Punch Bandit. How you doing? So anyway, so here it is. Rufo then cites Harvard's own policy on paraphrasing and plagiarism to underscore the point. When you paraphrase, your task is to distill the source's ideas in your own words. The guidelines state it is not enough to change a few words here and there and leave the rest. Instead, you must completely restate the ideas in the passage in your own words. If your own language is too close to the original, then you are plagiarizing, even if you do provide a citation. Okay, that's because he's showing the first part here. This is the first thing that he plagiarized. And then farther down, Gay that's further accused of lifting material from legal scholar Carol Swain without giving a citation. Rufo again cites Harvard guidelines, which state that students must give credit to the author of the source of material, either by placing the source material in quotation marks and providing a clear citation, or by paraphrasing the source material and providing a clear citation. So there's instances where she didn't do this. And so now the National Association of Scholars call for the removal of Harvard president. Okay, the National Association of Scholars, the NAS, in an open letter released Monday, NAS said that Claudine Gay's botched testimony before Congress on December 5th, wherein she refused to say that calling for the genocide of Jews violated Harvard's policy on harassment, made her unworthy of her administrative position. So they're based on her testimony. And then, let's see. Oh, and then they also referenced this part where she may have been plagiarizing. So her answers on that occasion. Okay, this is still the genocide question. The letter then cited her shoddy professional work and her record of plagiarism. It also cited her promotion of racial policies. So that's one group, but the board at Harvard has already signaled their complete and full trust in Ms. Gay. So that brings me to a thread that I saw on Twitter talking about the problem in academics right now. And I noticed this problem when I was in college, way back in the 80s, okay? Way back in the 80s, because, I was a music major when I first started school, and then I decided I didn't want to be a musician, I want to be a teacher, and so I decided to change majors, and I changed to speech communication, and basically it's a rhetoric writing major. Basically, your prospects either go to law school or, write for somebody or whatever. And I wrote all the time, just constant writing and, researching and whatever, and writing speeches and making speeches, whatever. But one thing I noticed when I was in college, that some of the courses I took, and even in the department in which I was taking courses for my major, it seemed very much so that all of the assigned readings, for example, all had this very kind of left-wing slant to them, right? So we were reading things like The Population Bomb, which has been debunked since that's been written, and things, and like one course in particular, I remember the professor gave us 6 books to read, and they were all just like left-wing propaganda books, and I didn't even. At the time, I wasn't a conservative by any stretch of the imagination. I was just a college student trying to learn shit. And this was, as I'm reading the text in this class, I'm like, there's something wrong here. Okay, this view of the world can't be as crazy as this sounds. And it may be the reason why when I finally got to vote for a president, I went to the right, because I was just like, and this was in a lot of my classes though. The readings were all kind of this slanted political shit, and so it got me to this. Then I got to this thread on Twitter, and I was thinking back. I'm like, yeah, this is not a new problem, but boy, oh boy, is it just exacerbated since. So this is someone named Michael Nanya. Nanya said, I wanted to say Nanya business, but anyway, he has a thread on the broader problem in higher ed ideology. So I'm going to just go through this thread, and it's pretty good. Ayn Rand warned you. Yep, sure did. Recent congressional hearings in the U.S. have created a broader willingness to look at higher ed's ideology problem. University leadership has reached an inflection point that I'll try to explain here in simple terms. And here's the thread. And this will be linked in the links at the end of the show. I'll start by drawing a comparison between scientific theory and a critical theory, which is the theoretical work that underlies DEI, which is diversity, equity, inclusion, administrations, most student activism, and the disingenuous testimony we heard at the hearings. That's so true. A scientific theory emerges from the observation of facts. It's kind of a story we tell about why certain groupings of facts show up the way they do. There's an expectation among scientists that if you familiarize yourself with a theory, you should be able to use its principles to predict something new and verifiable about the world. A CT, or critical theory, however, doesn't hold itself to this expectation. Critical theorists claim that social science must integrate philosophy into its methods, that findings work practically toward a moral end. Okay, so it doesn't matter what the truth is, it's got to work towards a moral end. Now, where the purpose of scientific theory is to understand the world as it is, facts, the purpose of critical theory is to change the world into something it ought to be. These theories are active in nature and designed to create change. and I like this GIF, equality, equity, showing the difference between equality, equity, and justice. This is the critical theories theme of it. Okay. Now, if you've ever seen the ones where they're looking over the ladder to watch a game, I have to find that one. Anyway, critical race theory, post-colonial theory, and queer theory, among others, are large bodies of work devoted to criticizing Western society. They seek to dissolve the social expectations, laws, institutional practices they claim to oppress outsider identity groups. While some scholars working with critical theories use the theoretical framework as a starting point to do real research, the standards of the field have devolved so badly that a fundamentalism has emerged from their vast body of work. Oh, you don't say. Hello, Gunfox. They critique everything from the way people form couples to how buildings are designed. Their bottomless body of criticism is now decades old and so influential that it has changed how the university views its purpose. And here's the example they use. Architecture, upward thrusting buildings ejaculating into the sky. Do cities have to be so sexist? Oh my gosh. Upward thrusting buildings ejaculating into the sky. Do cities have to be so sexy? Anyway, now the critical canon is taught to students before they're given a chance to adequately understand the object of their ire, and many imbibe so much of the abstract theoretical philosophy that it forms the basis of their relationship to reality, as in zero. These critical agents of change move from department to department, applying their theory to any discipline they can convert to their cause. Now, this is the quote here is, sociology demands that you have social justice, a social justice lens. Any right-wing sociologist should be booted out of the club. Much applause. Anyway, differing from scientific practitioners, remember, scientific, looking for facts on how the world is, not how it should be. Different from scientific practitioners who attempt to disprove their starting assumptions, they begin with their conclusions and move into the field to accumulate proof and punish dissent. So I botched the reading of that. See it, Selected Boy? Is someone? Oh no, it's hello, Selected Boy. Never mind. They begin with their conclusions of what the way they want it to be, and then accumulate proof to punish dissent. There are many different critical theories, but they all follow base assumptions that bring them together into a single orthodoxy. Criticism yoked to a fixed set of conclusions turns into an orthodoxy. DEI administrators work tacitly with student activists to create inhospitable environment for conservative academics who seek to defend and transmit the very norms the orthodoxy seeks to dissolve. And here's a breakdown of the political leanings of Yale professors. 8% conservative, 18% moderate, 34% liberal, 41% very liberal. Now, conservatives have already lost the battle against the agents of change, and pressure is increasingly applied to classical liberals who advocate for free speech and institutional neutrality, like Peter Boghossian. Should we watch this clip? Let's watch this clip of Peter Boghossian.
I get into work today and I see the Portland State University paper.
He was at Portland State University.
Is apparently
which is a
done a hit piece on me. There it is. The goal in the contemporary bullying style of Trumpist politics is to ridicule others for personal gain. PSU Educational Collective. PSU.
Wait. The PSU, Educational Collective? Oh, good Lord. You know you're in trouble. You're in trouble.
These people are, look at that. They're anonymous. We have opted to communicate our concerns through a collective identity rather than individually. I mean, it is utterly incredible to me what the university has become when you have to publish an anonymous hit piece on people. So that's what it is. You can't, they can't defend their ideas. They link me with.
Oops. Oh, shit. That wasn't the desired effect there. Ah! Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to do that. Let's get back down here. That's about right.
I can't attack me as a person. That's what it is. You can't, they can't defend their ideas. They link me with Trump. They attack me as a person.
And what's interesting, he's not a Trump guy. He's just a professor that doesn't toe the critical theory line.
How do I talk to a collective? How do I talk to the PSU pro-educational editorial collective? I can't.
So before, it was a question of knowledge, right? In fancy philosopher words, you call it epistemology. You didn't have the right knowledge. You had a wrong epistemology. But now it's something very different. It's now is someone who advocates a particular position is a bad person.
Right.
And so it's not just that you're missing a fact. It's that there's something wrong with you morally. But it's even worse than that, because even asking a question in the academy, in many spaces, becomes a problem.
Yeah.
You know, why are you asking a question about trigger warnings or safe spaces or microaggressions? Or why are you challenging this? We know this to be true. Well, how do you know it to be true? Well, here it is in the research literature.
Yeah. It's
right? So that's how the whole thing becomes ingrained and embedded. And then people get tenure and they go on to teach and they go on to promote these ideas. But the ideas themselves are totally untethered to reality.
All right. So in 2016, social psychologist Jonathan Haidt warned of a leadership schism, arguing that universities needed to decide and state openly their intent to be guided by the critical tradition, change, or the liberal one, truth. Three camps appear to be emerging from the crisis: classic liberals who call for a return to neutral leadership and truth-seeking mission, which is Robert George. It is critical that we derive the right message and avoid deriving the wrong one from Liz McGill's voluntary resignation. The wrong one is that universities like Penn need more restrictions of speech. The right one is that double standards will no longer be tolerated. Oh, wow. Robert George wrote that? That's amazing. The priestesses who would like to continue to convert academic institutions into progressive cathedrals. It's a second class. So first class is people who are classic liberals who call for a return to neutral leadership. The priestesses who would like to continue to convert academic institutions into progressive cathedrals. And then and conservative post-liberals who believe that value neutrality is a myth, a worldview will predominate any institution, and universities should return to their religious grounding. So where this goes from here is anyone's guess, but I do know the implications for society and culture will be profound in 2020. So it is interesting that you see the difference in reactions too between at least two of the three universities. One, the University of Pennsylvania president steps down. It calls for resignation. The Harvard University president is propped up by the board, even after they figure out some plagiarism issues. So anyway, it's just weird what's going on in academia, and it's been going on for a long time. It's just nuts. All right, couple things. We'll do headlines and get out of here. Here's something wild though. So I've been reading a lot about the prosecution of Donald Trump. Jack Smith is going to the Supreme Court to get some things clarified, trying to expedite what could be an appeal that Trump's team would have, and getting it out of the way, trying to get this March 4th trial date solidified. But now it seems like he's bucked it up, even though the Supreme Court is going to hear this appeal he's made. Hello, People's Front of Canada, by the way. It's still gonna slow the process either way. But anyway, What's interesting about this whole thing, all these prosecutions, and this is Fascinating Issues and Insight poll, which, polls, whatever. But this poll says that nearly half of Democrats say the charges against Trump are politically motivated. With less than a year to go in the presidential election cycle, most Americans almost always have a good idea who will be running for president and who won't. That's especially true when an incumbent president is eligible for re-election, as this month's TIPP poll demonstrates. That's not the case this time around. While both of the main party's likely candidates, President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump, have healthy leads against potential competitors with their own parties, in virtually all polls, it's still not clear that either will even be on the ballot next year. That's that. I'm going to give him a ding for that. The media are full of stories that cite Democratic Party sources and contributors suggesting that the 81-year-old president, who has shown signs of age-related mental impairment, shown signs? He's done more than show signs. Mental impairment in recent years should drop out of the running. The complaints have been increasingly urgent as Biden's presidential favorability readings have plunged sharply. Meanwhile, Trump faces an unprecedented illegal assault with 4 separate indictments covering 91 allegations. So anyway, the gist of this, 60, what? Okay, here it is. Here's the things in the poll. Big topic of discussion both inside the Beltway and outside, despite mainstream media's effort to downplay the issue by calling Trump a threat to democracy. The voters aren't buying it. Among all voters, 60% agreed that the unprecedented legal charges against Trump were politically driven by the Democratic Party, while 31% disagree. Now, what's surprising isn't that the majority of Republicans, 81%, and independents, 53%, agree to see eye to eye, but that a plurality of Democrats agree. 49% agree to 44%, believing the prosecution are politically motivated. That's not a good number. With court action scheduled for the primary season, it is quite possible that Americans could have a first of sorts, a former president convicted of a serious crime, even as he runs for the office he once had. So what if Trump is convicted and one of the four indictment he faces? 72% would vote for Trump even if convicted. That's wild. And that's 72% of GOP followers say it's either or very likely. And 53, okay, never mind. Just 22% say it's either not very likely or not at all likely. So that's interesting. Oh, and here they took a poll on who leads as the possible Biden replacement. Michelle Obama. You got to be kidding me. And not Kamala Harris. Bernie Sanders. So Michelle Obama, Kamala Harris, Bernie Sanders, Gavin Newsom, Hillary Clinton, 2%. Never mind. Anyway, you can read that in the links today. In Breitbart, the Supreme Court to quickly decide whether or not to hear Trump immunity defense in special counsel prosecution. U.S. Supreme Court will decide in coming weeks whether or not to expedite deciding if former President Donald Trump is immune from prosecution on charges of attempting to overturn the results of the 2020 election, as special counsel Jack Smith petitioned the court on Monday. Federal court recently ruled that in Smith's favor that Trump is not immune from prosecution, but Smith's request seeks to prevent a drawn-out Trump appeal that could delay his trial, currently set to begin March 4th, and that's the only reason he did it. But Trump recently appealed Judge Tanya Chutkan's immunity ruling, a step that suspended the trial until the question is resolved. By plucking the appeal from the appeals court, the Supreme Court could definitively resolve the question of Trump's immunity earlier and prevent the beginning of Trump's trial from slipping. I'm not going to bet on that. So anyway, in PJ Media, lawsuits against Trump are so transparently political, they're backfiring badly with Democrats. This is Victoria Taft. I'll move this so you can see it better. I'll move it there. Turns out the American people know a scam when they see one, even Democrats. And she's referencing the new Issues and Insights TIPP poll that shows indisputably that the lawsuits against Trump are beginning to boomerang in the minds of Democrats. Indeed, they're not buying the BS that Donald Trump is a threat to a threat to democracy. They're showing the same poll, so I'm not going to go through that. But anyway, in Daily Caller, someone named Eli Hoenig names one thing that could doom the cases against Trump. Senior legal analyst Eli Hoenig said on Monday 2 cases against former President Donald Trump could fall apart if the Supreme Court rules in his favor. Special counsel Jack Smith asked the Supreme Court on Monday to consider Trump's claim on whether he is immune from prosecution over his alleged attempts to overturn the 2020 presidential election. The former president moved to have his case dismissed in October, arguing his actions fell in line with official duties as president. Smith's petition to the court comes 3 months before the set trial date. Now, what is he? Hoenig warned both Smith and Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis' cases against Trump could be out the window if the Supreme Court sides with the former president. Here, let's see what he says here.
Paula said that she doesn't think that a ruling on this case would necessarily impact any of the other criminal cases Trump is facing.
Oh, that's just wishful thinking.
So I agree with Paula 99% of the time. I slightly disagree on this one. If Donald Trump is to win here, obviously Jack Smith's federal election interference case is out the window. I also think Fani Willis's case is doomed. Yes, that is a state-level case, but the principles of immunity would apply whether it's a federal or state-level prosecution. Again, that's if Trump wins. I do agree with Paula. This will have no impact on the hush money case because that conduct almost entirely happened before Trump was president, and it definitely will not impact the federal Mar-a-Lago classified documents case because that conduct was entirely after Donald Trump was president. But if he wins here, I think 2 of the 4 cases are going to be out the window.
Okay.
Listen, Mr. Trump was supposed to testify in his New York trial today. He announced last night that he was not going to. Do you think his team has decided to switch its focus elsewhere, given that he's...
All right, so anyway, he asked about the New York trial there. In American Greatness, there's an article about the inevitability of nonsense about Donald Trump. And the lead is whatever happened to Christmas shopping. The lefties, instead of supporting local merchants this season, are writing pieces about the coming dictatorship of Donald Trump. George Conway had a hit piece in the New York Times in November. David Frum has one in the Atlantic. Robert Kagan, who perhaps should know better, has written one. Trump dictatorship is increasingly inevitable for the New York Times. His piece really wasn't fit to print, but then that is true of most of what the old grey lady puts out these days. Kagan opens with, "Let's stop the wishful thinking and face this dark reality. There is a clear path to dictatorship in the United States, and it's getting shorter every day." So this is just an article about how everyone's calling Trump a potential dictator and the end of democracy. Breitbart, police in New Hampshire, apparently someone threatened to kill Vivek Ramaswamy and supporters at a campaign event. He also got a former FBI agent said that he needs to be careful and get a better security detail because he doesn't like how the chatter is going. A New Hampshire man has been arrested for allegedly threatening to kill presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy and his supporters at an event Monday. Newly released court records show. "We are grateful of law enforcement, their swiftness and professionalism in handling this matter, and pray for the safety of all Americans," campaign spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin said to ABC News. The suspect is 30-year-old Tyler Anderson, who was first reported to law enforcement by Ramaswamy's campaign staff last week for allegedly sending a threatening message in response to a campaign text about an upcoming event. So, time for Ramaswamy to begin watching his back. There's a lot more in the story, but I'm not going to read anymore. Free Beacon. Now, this is interesting. A GOP faction teams up with the Squad and anti-Israeli groups to dismantle U.S. spy authorizations. Now, this is interesting because is this kind of pushing away from Patriot Act kind of shit? House Republicans seeking to dismantle America's spy authorizations are touting endorsements from members of the Squad and far-left anti-Semitic activist groups like Code Pink and the Council on American Islamic Relations, according to an internal email being circulated on Capitol Hill. The House is expected on Tuesday to consider legislation by Representative Andy Biggs, Republican from Arizona, that would overhaul the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, the FISA Act. Well, they've been very upset about the FISA Act for about 5 years now. There we go. A tool used by America's intelligence agencies to track terrorists and other national security threats. And Americans in some cases. The FISA authorizations are set to expire at the end of this month, and House Republicans have put forth competing bills to reform the spy measure and prevent agencies like the FBI from abusing its power to spy on Americans. So they're going to try to put a little dent in the FISA Act and maybe be a little more. I'm not sure. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I might read this one later because I haven't read it yet. But the alliance is raising eyebrows with more than a few moderate Republicans' offices that are supporting the competing FISA reform bill crafted by the Republican and Democratic leaders of the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. Well, you know, the swamp creature Democrats and Republicans, the uniparty Democrats and Republicans probably don't like Andy Biggs' version of the bill. So we'll see what happens with that one later. I'm sure that'll be big news. Daily Caller, how much America's home payments increased under Biden. When Biden assumed office, the average monthly home payment for a new home was $1,915, but it has since ballooned to $3,322 as of the third quarter of 2023. What? It's gone up $2,400 for a new home. Oh my God! Now is that because just the interest rates alone? Holy Mikeys! That's 7% mortgage rate. $392,000 as of October. High inflation and relative tightening of the supply of housing have resulted in increasing prices, while the high mortgage rates are in response to the increasing cost of credit. Holy Moses, that's a big jump. So if you want to read the rest of that, I would highly recommend it. Now just headlines, because I got to go. Legal insurrection. The University of Wisconsin Regents would rather lose $800 million of funding than submit to DEI reforms. There was a vote on some stuff, and Republicans in Wisconsin have been negotiating with officials at the University of Wisconsin to scale back their diversity, equity, and inclusion policies at the various schools. Just a few days ago, it looked like they had a deal, but apparently it fell through at the last minute. The Board of Regents rejected the deal, vote of 9-8, meaning the school is going to lose out on $800 million in funding that was meant for salaries. And oh my gosh, they were going to give another $800 million in salaries. Well, they lose out. Apparently there's a school in Deep Red, Ohio that forces teachers to learn the definition of pansexual. Because, you know, third grade teachers need to know which ones of their students are pansexual. Oh, God. Oh, good Lord, good Lord, good Lord. In Behind the Black, apparently the University of Washington proudly says no whites need to apply. Okay, what is this about? A review showed that both the hiring decision and hiring process were inconsistent with EO 331, the university's own anti-discrimination rule. The race was used as a factor. Specifically, the faculty inappropriately considered candidates' races when determining the order of offers and altered the process to provide disparate opportunities for candidates based on their race. Interesting. This is for, that's what it is. According to a recent investigation completed by the University of Washington, its Department of Psychology broke numerous civil rights laws as well as the university's own rules by using race as a criteria in the hiring of 5 new tenure-track assistant professors. Basically, they said no white people. So there you go. Man. So if you want to read about that. In Breitbart, Trump crushing everyone in Iowa per Des Moines poll. Also, Trump is leading an enormous lead over Biden in crucial battleground states. So a couple articles on the upcoming election. And someone here named Pierce, I advised Bernie and raised funds for Biden. Now I'm joining the Republican Party. This is someone named Will Pierce. I've been a loyal Democrat for as long as I can remember. I spearheaded Joe Biden's exploratory effort in 2015, served as a senior advisor to Senator Bernie Sanders during the 2016 and 2020 elections, and even played a role as a fundraiser for Biden during the 2020 general election. But despite my active involvement in the Democratic Party, the concerns I hold regarding the party's direction in recent years can no longer be ignored. I love our country. That is why I can no longer remain in today's Democratic Party, a party that is focused on dividing us by radicalizing every issue. Let's see. So he's leaving the Democratic Party and becoming a Republican after he did fundraising for Bernie, and he's becoming a Republican. That's wild. You can read the rest. And guess who they're bringing in to save Biden's campaign? Oh, I'm gonna let you guess. Guess who? I'm not going to show any. There's more articles. There's like 5 more articles, but I can't get to them because I got to go. Guess who? This is it. This is the funny one. Oh wait, did I have one back here that was funny? No, that's just about that. Guess who? Guess who Democrats are recruiting to save Biden's campaign? Stacey Abrams. That's a good guess. Not quite. Ronna McDaniel. Well, no, that's who the Republicans brought in to help Biden's campaign. Lori Gollum Lightfoot. Nope. I can't give you a hint because any hint that I give you would be too easy. It'd be too damn easy. It would be too damn easy. The Rock. No. I'll start reading the article and get when I get to it. You can keep doing answers, but here we go. Naturally, the Biden campaign has decided to unleash its secret weapon. And you won't believe it. AD, you get it? Yes! You got it! Hillary freaking Clinton. Hello, Cannibalistic Wizard. Oh, good Lord. Good Lord. Wait, click that one. There you go. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that Joe Biden's campaign is in real trouble. His approval ratings are garbage. Americans think he's too old and not mentally fit to be president. And in the Real Clear Politics average, he loses in general election matchups to Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, and Nikki Haley. Naturally, the Biden campaign has decided to unleash its secret weapon, and you won't believe it. It's Hillary Clinton. I kid you not, according to NBC News, she hosted a fundraiser for Biden a couple weeks ago. The report explains that Hillary is, quote, popular with women and key parts of the Democratic base and remains a fundraising draw who can help ensure Biden has the money to get his message out. Why? They're stupid. They're fucking stupid. They would not even consider Hillary because they would bring in one of the Obamas, but the Obamas don't want to be bothered with Joe because Joe's a dumbass. Anyway, Clinton's role is only expected to grow in the new year, but for now she's filling a space she's filling space, all right, that at a later point in the campaign season, former President Barack Obama will join. Former President Barack Obama's habit is to plunge in closer to election day, in the reality that rankles some Democratic strategists who say the party sorely needs him right now. Biden and Clinton have not always been close. She elbowed him out of the running in 2016, and her first visit to the White House during the presidency was in September. But the president is thirsty for allies. Right now, his approval numbers are in the shitter, And he's running neck and neck with Republican frontrunner, former President Donald Trump, who is under indictment in 4 separate cases. Well, of course, that's NBC News. That's make sure you know that. Anyway, Hillary's role is about to expand, and the campaign is recruiting more big guns to rescue Biden. NBC News reports Hillary's role. Okay, then they said about Barack Obama. According to a Democratic strategist who spoke with NBC News, at the end of the day, Biden needs all the help he can get. So, yes, they are bringing in the big guns, or the big ankles, Hillary Clinton, and probably most of the Obama family. So, there you go. All right, guys, I got to go, and there's a few other articles in here. There's some good stuff. If you want to see those, I'm going to put a link in the tab that'll take you to all of them on one page called the One Tab link. That'll be in the outro, in the chat during the outro, and I will post it in the description of both YouTube and Rumble for this particular episode. So thanks everybody for joining me. Hit the like button right now before you go, because you're starting to click those buttons, and I'm like, no, hit the like button, then click the buttons, or you can watch the outro and wait for the links. So that's it for me today. I gotta go. My name is Dawg Knight, and I am out of here. Bye. Have a great day. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the Dawg Knight Channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.